Good morning, everybody. We're going to let everybody funnel in here and go from there. I tried to start a little earlier today, but just a lot going on this morning that I really wanted to review, take a look at, see how we're setting up. So just give a minute for everybody to kind of funnel in, kind of go from there. And then we'll begin. So, I'm just letting everybody funnel in. I mean, the larger issue here for me is everybody getting a little excited about bidding up, and kind of going from there. So I'm not going to be overly excited about this, to be quite honest with you. I know everyone's like, "Oh, we're bidding up." Okay, you're halfway over a level you haven't even been to yet. So I don't see any reason to be getting overly excited here. To me, it just looks like they're just going to bid us up to kind of knock us back down. So I don't really see it. I don't really see a reason for it. I don't see a reason to get too excited here. If we go and take a look, we don't even use this. Let me just use the Qs. Okay. This is where you ran to. This is where you're running to this morning. Okay. There's my level, 360.22. Okay. You're at 360.21. So maybe you get through that. Maybe you do come up here and test. I'll believe it when I say it. Right now, we've had so many failed breakouts here and here that doing anything but selling into strength just does not make any sense. It's how many times are we going to be fooled? So my argument here is just, could they pull the rug out again? And the answer is yes. They could absolutely pull the rug out again. One of the key factors is just looking at these indexes. They're all the same. The one that's really not is this. And we'll see how it plays out. But to me, yeah, absolutely, you need to be careful here. And I would be selling into this, and I'd be selling in any rally like this. If we get over 1% or more, absolutely. And then I'd be looking to put shorts on, or, I'd be looking to just get out of longs that I wanted to trade. Good morning, Shock. Good morning, Cobra. So Tesla is my best idea, period, for the day. I mean, just looking at it this morning in the action, and this warrant's talking about for a moment so people can understand this. So if you're in from the newsletter, you're in at 730, 765. You're up here now. Look, I've been saying this for some time. Okay, this has been Tesla's chart. Okay, see how we're running up the whole time? Okay, here's the S&P. Here's Tesla. Okay, same time frame. You can see where I'm going with this, right? The outperformance of Tesla is staggering, and lets you know that if this market ever does turn, this is going to rip, and we're probably going right through 900. So, that's kind of how I look at it. And yeah, I through 805, it's the number one idea I have. We just are not seeing follow through. So it makes me apprehensive about buying the follow through for any long period of time. But yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. And I think it's setting up to run. I really do. So that's number one that I would be focused on more than any of them. So in just regards to Microsoft and Plug, look, Microsoft has work to do. I mean, you have a lot of work here, right? You're battling that 50-day. You have this doji. This was nice yesterday, how you have the doji that came down here and tested. And I'm going to leave pre and post data in today. But, you can kind of see what's going on here, right? So for me, yeah, I'm not in any big position here where I'm trying to figure out the right way to say this. I'm not in any big position here where I feel that you got to run into this and buy this. I mean, I just don't see it. I really don't. I think that people are underestimating sales with what's going on with supply chain issues too for some of these companies. They still have Xboxes; they have to sell them. There's PlayStations that are going online right now, and they sell Xbox. I mean, you have to think about it this way, right? I mean, they're selling PlayStations online if they have them for like $1,000. So when you see stuff like that, not everyone's going to go out Christmas time and spend $1,000 on a PlayStation. So, in regards to plug, I mean, there's your level, right? If we bring this down and we look at what's been going on, and we come to here, it ran, it had its chance. I don't really think that you should be chasing this here. That's my opinion of it. I don't really think that you should be chasing this here at all. I mean, you're just literally flatlining, and then we're getting excited when these cross, and they've crossed so many times. What the heck's the point, right? Maybe you get to here, maybe you don't. I mean, I think you're better spent on other money. Look, this got a pop on the infrastructure bill. Okay, the infrastructure bill, as we know it, those bills are dead. They're just dead. Maybe they pass something in December, maybe. And if they do, it'll be a shell of what they wanted to pass. So that's how I would look at it. So, but I was hoping for a gap down, filling the gap of the down, and maybe move up. Yeah, Jim, we're getting the exact opposite action. And really, if you look at this, you're 100% right. That's what you want. You want that flush out, and they're not giving it to us. And so what that usually means is that we have more pain to go. So, I'd be really cautious about jumping in and buying here. I'll give you an example of how I'm looking at this. Hold on one second here. Let me show you this. So bear with me. Right here. Okay. This is 132. Look at where you're stopping already on the TQQ. Okay. And I think that people need to be looking at these levels religiously. This is they're running you up, right? And then they're getting to a key level, and then they're rejecting that key level. Now, if you look at this on like a 1 minute, look what's going on here. Like, let's get rid of these indicators. Okay. It's a really thin looking chart, but nonetheless, they took you up. They traded you to that level. Okay. And now we're breaking 360 again on the Qs, as you can see over here. And you can see how we're already rolling back down. So the money was made in whoever decided to short up here, right? And leave the short on, even if you use this as your little break, and then you leave it on, and then this becomes your stop. And maybe you hit big, or maybe you don't, or you trade out of it however you see fit. But that's how people are making money in this market. It's few and far between, but I agree with you, Jen. You're 100% right. So, Anna, I agree with you 100%. So I am selling into any rally like this. Any rally that I see, I sell. Any pullback I see, I sell. You have to watch the movements. Like, I was trying to explain this last night in the trading room. Like, look, okay, these were the Qs, okay, last night, okay, down here. Okay, so we put a short position on at like close to 126 yesterday, right? By the end of the night, 125.85, I think it was. So, but by the end of the night, you're up $2. Now you could lock that in or not lock that in, depending upon how you trade. But now you're getting another opportunity to short it again. So that's who's making money, people that are constantly taking money out of the market. Other than that, people are not making money. But could this be another flim-flam day? Absolutely. Hey, G, good to see you. So BLDR-MRO. The thing about it is, identifying patterns is what you want, right? You want to be able to identify patterns. The sooner you can identify the pattern, the better off you are. And the people that are identifying that they are rallying us in the mornings and taking us down in the afternoon are the people that are going to be making money from this. Okay, they're the people that are going to be selling the rallies, okay, and buying the dips, and vice versa. They're the people that are going to make money from this. Everybody else we're going to struggle, right? It's just the way it is. Builders Resource, let's throw in some indicators here. Yeah, I don't have any volume that would interest me in this. I don't know what they do, but that's definitely a breakout. I'd like to see more emphatic of a breakout here. And the fact that I've got wick after wick after wick just means I'm constantly being rejected. And I don't like being rejected. So I'm probably not going to take a look at this because of those wicks. So and the light volume, that would get me off. So MRO. So look, that's what you're dealing with. Okay. This was a nasty reversal yesterday, and I tried to point this out and explain this to people so people get it. Let me just explain this. Okay. Oil went up, energy stocks went down. Okay. That's not what you want to see. And it happened right at the top of this again, and rejected where? Right at the top of this again, forming the pattern that we know very intimately as what? An evening star, right? So we could easily go to 55 here, which would send those stocks crumbling down. I mean, when oil corrects for any reason whatsoever, you're going to have an issue. So PAGS has puked all the sellers. Maybe. So, yeah, I mean, you can't go near this. I don't know what would happen here what they got caught doing or what happened, or that's not an earnings move. That's like a news move. I'd be really cautious buying this. Could this bounce? Yes, but any rally I would sell. I mean, this is setting up to form a perfect age. You come down, you bounce, and then you sell back down. Like you don't reverse and go back up. It just doesn't work that way. Any bounces should be sold. Sophie, yeah, Sophie's actually on a short list of mine. It just didn't make it enough to get that involved. But this volume's real. The note that came out yesterday is real. I had time to read it last night. The research report, I kind of get it. I understand what they're saying. Could it go? Sure, it could go. It could absolutely go. And it's kind of setting up as if it wants to. You're going to have to see if you have follow through or not today. The volume yesterday was people actually understanding the story and getting it and going, oh. So based upon that, could Sophie go? Yes, it absolutely could. Where it goes from there, I really don't know, but it's very possible that could go. And really all you're looking for here would be a 1851 level, 1852, something like that, to see if it goes today. But longer term, how you're getting through, like here's your attempt here, but you are bouncing off of this and you are breaking this higher high finally. So you do have a double bottom here where you've bottomed and now you've broken out on that high yesterday and closed above it. So, now it's really in the bull camp. So, because here, let me show you why. I'll explain it. So you can see this level here, right? So you undercut this level, which is here, which is a double bottom. You start rallying up, but before you can confirm that the double bottom's in place, you need to be over one of these levels. You need to be over a higher high that's on the left in order to confirm a double bottom, right? So then I try here, and then they pull the flim flam, and it goes back down, okay? That's not what happened yesterday. I broke out, and I cleared it. So that means that this base is solid, right? And look, anything can happen. But that's what technical analysis says. That base is now solid. I'm now above the 200-day, which I have never been above the 200-day this much before. And oh, by the way, I just happened to do it on huge volume. And what was the relative volume of this? This was not something I touched yesterday, on this news. But this is definitely something that I'd be paying attention to today. There's no question about it. Where do I think you're going? I can get to 21. I think you can start getting to 21 and then see how it acts. But yeah, it's definitely on my list, and it's on a very short list. There's not much going on there. Hey, Root. A firm I have is a short, to be honest with you, Root. So probably not what you want to hear. But yesterday's rejection told me everything I needed to know. So there's a couple key things going on here, and I'll just point them out. Okay, so I do a top 5 at 5 at the end of every day now, Root. It's like a 5-minute video. If you are subscribed to the channel, you might want to watch it. But I covered this yesterday. So to me, I'm going to break a rising wedge, which means I'm probably heading back down to here, right? On top of that, this rejection yesterday is what they've been doing to us over and over again. And all they're doing is, I'll leave this in, but all they're doing is, let's get rid of the indicators. They're running us over key levels like this, making us think they're really going to go, and then just massive selling, massive. And they've been doing it over and over again. Look, they did it here too. Looks like it's going to break out and go. Then from here, selling. Right? I mean, they're doing it over again and over again. So really watch that. They're really trying to trigger people, and they're doing a really good job of it. A really good job. You know, since we've been talking and I've been saying, hey, you might want to look at shorting the TQQ, just to put this in perspective. Okay. This is where you're at on the TQQ already. So, I mean, this is what you're dealing with, right? Since I was just talking about it. Okay. You're already down $1. So, you know, this is going to get these rallies that you're seeing, you're not able to get over key levels. And when you can't get over these key levels, like I have marked off here, you know, it's not a coincidence that this just rejected at a level I have marked. I'm pretty decent at marking levels. And I'm telling you that you need to watch this kind of stuff because this is all gamesmanship. Okay. So, hey, Samira. So I'm looking to get into leap calls for CHPT. Thoughts? You know, a Checkpoint, I mean, CHPT, I mean, they're a ChargePoint. I'm sorry. Checkpoint. What the heck is Checkpoint? So look, would I buy leaps on this? No, I would not. You have to think about this, Samira. This went up here again because we were going to have an infrastructure bill. Okay. The chances of an infrastructure bill right now are pretty much zero. And there, you know, I'm not saying that there's not a need for that bill. There is a need for that bill, but it's all politics, and people want to get reelected. So that's how they vote. I mean, I don't want to get into all of it, but I understand why this was going crazy. I understand why in November, everybody was like, oh, they're going to print this bill. It's going to be amazing. Oh, the bill's still alive. That bill's dead. So would I buy leaps here? No. If I really, because I think that your leaps are going to be too expensive, right? If you have very specific leaps, email me them and I'll take a look at them for you. Or you can just tell me what they are in here and I'll look at them real quick. But no, I would not be buying leaps on this. I instructed someone yesterday to buy leaps if they wanted to on this. Like I'd buy leaps on Ford all day long because you can go out 2 years and control the stock for like $2. You know, it's crazy. And, you know, I think that Ford can double. So I think it's a home run of an idea. But no, Samir, I wouldn't be going crazy there. INMD. Yeah, INMD, you crushed, right? They absolutely crushed. As always, you know, subscribe to this channel and put on notifications because these pre-market videos start different every time. And I'm trying to get in front of as many people as possible. So, you know, just please share this video. Look, I mean, that's what you're dealing with, right? So I broke it. I tried to rally, right? And then where'd I stop? So it's really important to understand the dynamics of what I'm just showing. Here's a support level. Through it, bonk, 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 right? Okay, so you got a little battle going on here. But we know what this is. We know this is a flagpole, right? And we know that this coming across is a bear flag, right? But that doesn't mean that it can't work or it can't reverse. So then you come to here, okay? And look where you stop. Okay, so now you have to watch this. So what I would argue is that if you break that level right there, you're heading to here. And that's going to be your next test. Okay, see how you fit right on the top of this, and that fits right in here, right in here. So that's your next level. Getting through that negates this bear flag, and then you could probably come up and then retest that. But they're the levels you have to watch. Until I close above this part of the flag that we're stopped on, it's not something that I would play with. And I might play with it if it breaks above that. But this is just not overly appealing to me at all. Do I think? Oh yeah, I think we're setting up for a red day. Yes. Do I think we are setting up for one? I'll just yeah. I mean, I have no way of knowing how we're going to close. Nobody does. But to think that we were just going to come in and run right back up after going down the way we did yesterday, you have to understand that. Like I was putting shorts on yesterday, and now those shorts are back to break even. I'm looking at them right now on another one of my monitors, and the shorts I put on, I'm already break even on when everybody was saying, "Oh, look, the market's rallying." So I'm on the other side of this completely, and I do think that we could bid down. I do think there'll be exceptions to that rule, but I'm not a buyer of the indexes here by any stretch. So we need a good solid flush. Yeah, I agree, Jen. It does look bullish. With PAGs, here's the thing. If you can't figure it out, it means you don't know the story, right, Anna? So if you don't know the story, you can't buy the stock because you don't know the risk. So you just have to avoid it till you learn it. Root, I have no long-term entry for you right now. Long entry on a firm right now. None. I would not be going long that stock in this market. So you can buy it when it sells down and try and trade it. But other than that, I'd be really careful. ENPH, if Solars want to go again. Yeah, I mean, they could go on the bill, but I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, this is just a disaster. I mean, there's your first stop, right? Throw these indicators in, and you got to look at that. If they want to go again, that's what you're looking for. You'd be looking for a break. You're looking for a break right above this level. Okay? That's what you're looking for. And so you have to see if you get it or not. You're welcome, Steve. I-77. What are your thoughts on that? I think the index is just bid up just to come down. And I think that's all they've done. So far, I showed this early this morning and you can go watch it. But the point that I was getting at was, here's the Qs and you're rejecting the 8-day so far, right? Here's the level that I think you're going to break, which is 356.83 here. But, you already tested that and held it. So maybe I'll stay wedged in and then maybe I'll build. I don't know. But this is not a warm, fuzzy market for me. For me, it's a market that I need to sell the rallies. And selling those rallies has worked very, very well. If you sell the rallies, you're doing really well in this market. I mean, I can't stress that enough. If you're buying the dips in this market, you're doing really well. If you're buying the breakouts like a firm, you're not doing too good. Okay, people will be like, oh, I bought it here. Okay. So that's great. But now what? I mean, you have no follow through whatsoever. Zero. So, you kind of have to watch that. And, I'm on the other side of it. I don't think that the indexes are going anywhere this morning. So I think we might actually have a red day. So we'll have to see. And we'll play the hand that we're dealt. BBIG. Good morning. So BBIG, yeah, you're going to try again here. It could curve. You see how light your volume's getting? I can get rid of this. See how light your volume's getting? It's almost non-existent. This could curve and give you another shot here. I would argue this line is probably your first line of defense right back here. 591 right here. Watch that 591 and then see what happens from there. That's what I would look for. That's your first level, 591. Morning, Justin. Morning, Utu. That's I like. I don't think it's over, but you're going to bounce around and you have to realize that, right? So my hope is that you build a flag here before going higher. Staying above 1208 would be great. The sell-off yesterday and then the bounce higher. Look, it's everything that you want to see. It's pretty clear where your levels are, and You have to sell into those. But with that said, let's see what happens. I don't think this move's far from over. I actually think the technology is pretty fascinating what they do. So I don't know how you get to scale or aggregate people, but I find it very interesting. To have some kind of social media platform on a blockchain. I think it's very interesting, and it's something that could be around for a while. It's a real company with a real product. How you evaluate it, I have absolutely no idea, but it's very real, and it's very real, and there's some real advantages to it from a social media standpoint. But yeah, I would watch this level here, and I do think that if you could base here for a while, that'd be great. I don't want to see the whole run right back up thing. That's not really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for it to base for a while. I think that what you have to do with it is, do I think that it could? Look, for me, this is a really simple trade. I'm either going to go here, right, or I'm going to test 764, which it looks like I'm going to test 764, or maybe I slice through them. If I was down like $1 today on this, and I went to like 728, right, or came in something like that, I'd actually probably even look at that at buying it. I like this, and I like how you based, and then you're going higher. You didn't fall apart after this, okay? You didn't go below your 8 and your 21-day for very long. These indexes are still pointing up. Now, I'm not intimate on what this company does, but I will tell you that any dip here probably gets bought. When you have a long green bar like this, right? Not like this, but like a long green bar, that usually is setting you up for a flag, right? You're going to flag, and then maybe you'll go. And that's what we're looking for here. But do I think it could run? Yeah, I do. Oh, you're welcome, buddy. On INMD, do you want it to close today above the bear flag to trade tomorrow? So what I'm looking for is this. So let's go to this, right? How you trade Root's going to be up to you, right? What I'm saying is you can't even think. Here's my point. You really can't even think about buying it until it gets above 76.14. Okay. Then when I'm above 76.14, now I have to figure out what I'm going to do. Right. So if I don't close above 76.14, I definitely don't want to be in the stock. That much I know. So that's what I mean by that. Now, you don't have to wait for the close. You can just put the trade on, but that's on you. That's on how you want to trade. Right. Everybody trades differently. So just consider that. Melly, yeah, I mean, look, these things can get so much more beaten down than you want them to, right? Stocks can get so much more beaten down than you want them to. I would not be going near this. Okay. It is very clear that these are out of favor. Okay. Very clear. I mean, look, I was waiting for this thing to head all the way up here. You're basing. You're probably heading to 1350. And hopefully you hold 1350. But that's a nasty chart. And, that doesn't bode well for Shop. And it's certainly not going to bode well for, Amazon. So, I mean, when you start seeing big companies like this, it's telling you what's coming. Okay. And that's what's coming. And be really careful with these names. I would not be going long that. It could look, here's what my thought on Shop. Okay. Look, you could just bounce around in here on the indexes today. I'm not saying that that's going to happen. I'm not so convinced of that, but you could just bounce around here. There's nothing really wrong with that if that's what happens. But what I'm getting at is with something like this was a perfect short right here at the 21 day. Now I'm holding the 8. I mean, look, you're trapped, right? You're trapped between these two levels. So could you go from the 8 and bounce up to here? Yeah, you could. I don't know that I want to play this for 30 points, a $1,400 stock. That's up to you. But, I think you're going to break the 200-day again. So the way that this is set up, where you're rolling and then it's getting steeper and steeper and steeper, like that's one of the things you have to watch when you look for charts. It's like, see how you have a line here and that line's not getting better. See how this line, see how it's getting worse and the angle's getting worse. We can just take this out for a moment. But you see how the angles are getting worse as they walk you down? That doesn't go away, right? So what I would argue is that you're probably going to break the 200-day on this. So any rally, if you're looking to build a short position, that's what I would do. Hey, Laura. So you're trying to find footing. Whether or not you keep that footing, I have no idea. But you're trying, right? You're trying right here. I mean, this is your support level right there. So now what could happen here? You could turn, you could come down, try and come up, right? And eventually build a huge cup. But that's going to take months. And I don't even know that we're done going down. It really seems to me that we need a big flush out and we're just not getting it. And it's somewhat troubling because I'd much rather have the flush out and get it over with and go from there. And that just does not seem to be the case here, like at all. So let's just see if we can get that flush out or not. But you could go to here. I mean, you could come down to 670. That very well could happen. So, then we have to look at what we're going to do about that. But I would not be in a big hurry here. No, I don't buy SQQQ because the spread's too narrow. The moves are too easy to play with. And I'll just give you a really quick reason that you could look at. So nothing moves. So like we sold down yesterday, right? Or we rallied up. Okay, so the open was what? 836. The high was 861. Like there's no money. There's really no money to be made. I mean, what am I going to make? By the time slippage and everything is 20 cents. Versus I was able to short this yesterday and was up $2 after hours. So like to me, it's a no-brainer. There's one that's very easy to pick money off of, and there's one that's very hard to pick money off of. So that's why I don't do it. Bros? So this could go. Watch the 52 level. But yeah, this could go. If you get over, and I'm just saying for a trade, but if you get over this 50.36, you could go today. Okay, that could happen, right? I mean, these are the kinds of names that are going to work right now. And, one of the indicators, I can throw this low volume in, lower volume in right here. So people can see if there's anything. No, there's not really anything going on with it. But what you want to look for here, what I would want to look for is I'd want to look for breaking that high, then seeing how we act at 52. But yeah, that could move. It acted actually very well yesterday. SIEOG. So SI, look, to me, that broke yesterday. That was really disappointing. And I have to see how we act today. But right now, I think we're down. We're bidding down about $2 on it from what I can see. I'd be really, really careful here. I'm going to grab more coffee. Give me 1 second. So, all right. So I'd be really careful there. It's not something that I would deal with. Okay. It's something that I'd be really concerned about. So that said, it's just not something that I would deal with at all. I mean, I would wait. Let's keep going. See what else we have to go over. I would just wait there. EOG. Look, I'm not saying that these stocks can't work. Okay, I actually went long SI yesterday, and it just did not work out. So what you're seeing here is a rally up and a failure. If you break that low, you have to get out of it, right? We have this as a trade and it went here, but you know, if it doesn't hold here, you're going to here. Now you have to hold that if you want to hold it, or you have to get out of it. That's up to the individual and how they're going to trade. To me, you know, things are really breaking down, and you know, every rally to me is being met by selling. So I'm not in the big hurry here to tell people to rush into things by any stretch. I'm pointing out short-term trades in the trading room, but overall, I think you need to be really very careful what you're doing here with those kinds of names if they don't work. So I went through four yesterday. Go watch that video if you have time. It's 5 minutes. Top 5 and 5. You know, I have SEs on there, BABA's on there, Affirm's on there, TQQ's on there. So there's 4 right there. But you go watch the video. I mark off key levels. Morning, AEHR. I mean, that's acting great. It's one of the only stocks, again, one of the few stocks that's on my list. I love this trade, and I do very well with this trade. I'm going to just leave the pre and post in. It's going to show my lines off, but it saves time. But look, it's very clear that this was from the rip, from when this came out, that this stock's been mispriced since earnings. You know, people may have thought this was an anomaly, and then you built, and then you came out with earnings again, and then you rallied, and you came back down, formed a cup, and then went. So it's very clear to me that this is setting up to go a lot higher. Okay. When I start breaking these kinds of levels, that's my kind of trade because it's got a lot of momentum behind it. So I like the name, you know, but I'm in cheaper. Bob, would I buy it here? Yeah, you could buy it for a trade. ETH. So Ethereum, I mean, here's your level. Oops, let's get rid of, you know what, let's do it this way, because that doesn't mark it off. Properties, and just give me 1 second and we'll get rid of it. It's right in here. Volume lower. There we are. Okay. So what we're going to do here is just look at a couple key things, right? Let's get rid of this and this. Here's your level. Rallied over it. Wick, right? I mean, that's the level I marked off. How's it going? Not too good. So when you undercut a low, right, the very first thing you have to do to confirm that it's an actual bottom, or in this case, a double bottom for breaking down here, what is the first thing that you have to do? You have to get over a higher high peak, one that's on the left. What can't you do yet? Get over that peak. I mean, it's not, you know, when you understand how to do this, you can do it with anything, right? And really all it's showing you is where the participants are. That's all this is doing, right? So, I mean, once you understand this, you can make money. So see your levels, and now you have rejection. It's not something I'd be looking at. I'd be on the other side of this right now. You could actually be short this, looking for us to come back down and retest down here. So, and I don't know how Bitcoin's doing, but, you know, if yesterday was any sign of that, yeah, I mean, you're kind of hanging in here. It actually looks a lot better. So, you know, we're going to have to see how it plays out. But, you know, look, it's the market. Anything can happen. So, I don't think the energy run is anywhere near over. Not with the supply issues that they're having. I just don't think it's over yet, Isaiah. CHTR. So CHTR, you can't go near this. I think they just downgraded their earnings, right? Some company came out and downgraded them, cutting the cord and all that, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I would not be trying to figure out where the bottom is on this. I mean, you just went through a major support level. You can see how far this goes back, and that level, right? All in here to here. And you broke that pretty cleanly yesterday. I mean, if I was looking for a short, if it rallied, maybe then, but other than that, no, I would not be anywhere near that. So I don't think the run's over on CCIX. I think what you're seeing on the run on CCIX is you're seeing it slow down. Okay. I don't think this is over. I think if you had a different kind of market, this would have exploded to the upside yesterday. I think it's very interesting that the prospect of it not working, the stock was at $48, getting approval with a solid clean label, we're at $40. Really doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? Right? When the height and we were expecting the drug to come out, we were at $70, and now we're still at 40. So there's an anomaly there that I don't understand, and we'll have to figure it out. But it's definitely not something where I fully understand that. So I understand why. It's because you're in a weak market, but I don't think that moves over. No, I don't. I have it on your radar, Jen. Oh, you're welcome, Jay. NTRB. So here's your first level on that. I mean, it's a thin name. I'd be really careful with it. Really thin name. Huge volume. Maybe it goes. Maybe it can go. Right? You're moving this morning, right? Maybe. Watch that 11. Watch 11 on it. So other than that, yeah, I mean, it looks like a quick trade, but maybe if it breaks 11, Laura, you need to start using stop losses. Snap Globe. So there's nothing going on here. I mean, you've been basing since back here since June. You try to break out and it fails. I pointed this out a long time ago to the people in the trading room. Like, I don't know if I did it on here or not, but basically you were getting up to here. And that was the end of it. There was really no reason to go near this. And I think we did it on the weekly, maybe. Yeah. So I showed this on the weekly, like, don't chase this. And that kind of worked out. So Globe looks like it's going a lot lower to me, right? Like, this is not something I'm not chasing that. If anything, on rallies, I'd be shorting it. Like, that does not look good. When these indexes or these averages start pointing down and they start getting wider and wider, you really don't want to rush into it to buy it, right? Like, there's no point to that. So I would avoid those. RIO. So, yeah, I wouldn't go near this. I mean, there's just no reason to go near it. Look. So it's just not something that I would do. Thanks, Anna. I like Tesla. I don't know that I'm buying it up here today. I want to see how it acts to 805. I mean, I have long-term positions in that, but I also have positions, short-term trading positions. And, I haven't done anything, with them. I've just been leaving them on. But I think if it breaks 805, it could get a little frisky on Tesla. I mean, I really do think that. I think if you break 805, you're going to go higher. I've been saying that. These are the levels we got in on the newsletter, but I think if you break the 805, you have a real shot here of pushing. I mean, the NASDAQ keeps going down and this keeps hitting highs. So it's very clear to me that if the NASDAQ moves higher, Tesla is going to run. And what people aren't even considering is that if you break 900, what's behind it? 1,200, 1,300? Like, there's a lot of room to go here if this breaks this level. A lot. You've been basing since January. So, you're down you have to think about this, right? You're literally down on the year on Tesla. So I do think there's potential there. Well, just set stops, Shane. Anna wished you luck. Hey, Gavas, good morning. So the top energy names for me, I mean, I look, Anna, I like EOG. I think that has potential, but this scares me. This wick rejection, this scares me. So I'll tell you what I would do with energy. I would watch this bar right here, okay? And I would watch to see if you can clear this. If I can't clear this, I'd probably stay out of the way of energy for now. You already started getting signs that you had an issue. Doji here, but then we broke it. But now you've gotten to the top of the chart and you're rejecting it. That's not what you want, right? So just consider that. I don't know what that means, CJ. Is that a symbol? I think it has the potential to break. I mean, look, the way that I trade is every time that I'm in this and it breaks down, I cover some, right? So I've been shorting this for some time. I've actually been doing it on and off since up here, right? And we've been talking about this, and we've been talking about BNTX for months, right? When they start breaking these levels, that was it. Well, it looks like weeks actually. But once you start breaking these levels, that's it. When you broke your 50-day, you've never come back from that, and then you just continue to fall down. Institutions have given up on the names and are trading out of it. There's the vaccines. No one's doubting that they're adding value, right? I don't think anyone thinks that they're adding value, but there's certain groups that the way that this was being handled is just being completely mismanaged. And I think that it's going to really hurt these companies. I think it's going to hurt them more than we think, frankly. So I would just, any rally down, I'd cover. Or I'm sorry, any sell-off, I'd cover. Any rally up, I would short again. I mean, just constantly be taking money out of it, right? That's the way to trade it. There's no other way to trade it but that, period. So you can buy and sell warrants. I don't know about without fees. I did any. I can do it again, swing. So, I mean, to me, the thing with any is if I break this level, I'd have an interest. If I got back down to here or the 8-day, I'd have an interest. Even if I dropped $1 today, I'd probably have an interest. Just the close got me, right? I really like the close. I really like how we're seeing the volume. You're seeing a bunch of things move like these dumb names. And I hate to say that because maybe they're not dumb. But, I mean, this is the kind of market you're in, right? So if that's the kind of market I'm in, then I have to start looking for those names and just trading out of them once I have money. I mean, the one trade that like nobody talked about yesterday, and these are the kinds of names again that are moving, like this closed here and then we went up here. But so, Janice, there's very few and far between. Look, I have to jump here. It is 9:17. So everybody have a great trading day, and I will talk to you later.